Pick up another you call in the parking lot to song. Are you with me? When I stand with the roof gone, I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. Then you can get a move on. Like you haul and I know we need to go slow, but we can go faster. Maybe the best.
Hey y'all, welcome in. I'm trying to wait till everybody else get in with this sad news. If they come in, I'll just reiterate what has been found. As you guys know, Genesis was reported, the 2-year-old child that was reported missing in Alabama has been found deceased. And we're going to get into some details about what happened, and the mother charges have been upgraded. So I will read to you what has happened. She wasn't missing in February. She actually was missing, apparently, Christmas Day. The mother waited to report this happening. From what they understand, she reported this in February. A month and a half later. We're going to read the details together, and then we're going to go into more commentary as such. Okay, so it has been updated. Let me share my screen. It's very, very sad. And today is baby Genesis' birthday. So, it says... Okay. Authorities in Enterprise announced new charges in the unaliving of a missing girl as investigators say they were working to locate her remains. During a press conference, Chief of Enterprise Police Department Michael Moore said Genesis Reid mother, Agent Reid, has been formally charged with capital murder and abuse of a corpse. The announcement came on what would have been Genesis' third birthday. Moore said investigators and the child believe the child was intentionally unalived and placed in a duffel bag before being discarded in a dumpster. According to authorities, the investigation began on February 16th when Reid reported that her daughter was missing from an apartment on Apache Drive. Detectives later determined the report was false, and Reid was arrested the following day and charged with false reporting to a law enforcement. Authorities says that it's a Class C felony. The investigation progressed. Moore said detectives uncovered evidence indicating that the child has not been seen since Christmas. Now, if y'all remember when we watched that live, hey, the mother did, the mom. Yes, the mother did it. The mother unalived this young baby on Christmas Day. And when I did the live about how they were marking things, they had found that blanket, they found the car seat, they had found some stuff out there before they got to find the body. And that's why they believed, from what they understand, that there was more evidence, and they believe that they know she did something to this child because of the things they found. The mattress, all that stuff was found. I'm sorry, y'all. Investigators obtained surveillance footage from her neighboring residence that allegedly shows Reid walking toward an apartment complex dumpster with a rolling duffel bag around 11:30 p.m. Now, I'm glad that they went ahead and got a subpoena for this surveillance camera from the apartment, because the apartment had all of this stuff on camera. That's how they found her. Another video recorded 2 days later showed Reid returning to the dumpster area carrying toys and other items believed to belong to the child. Moore described the case as heartbreaking. It says the loss of a child has deeply affected the community. Search efforts are now expected to focus on the Coffee County landfill. Scott Bird, sheriff of the Coffee County Sheriff Office, and investigators have used landfill mapping, truck schedules, and GPS data from the landfill field equipment to narrow the potential search area to about 200 feet by 100 feet and 8 to 10 feet deep within the refuge. Bird said they searched the complex. They said the search will be complex and time consuming because the dumpster contents were compacted in a collection truck, taken to, Lord have mercy, taken to a distribution, I can't even talk, facility and compacted again. Oh my God. Then transported to the landfill where the waste was processed by heavy equipment. He said the search could take 10 weeks or long. Specialties from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are assisting in finalizing search plans. James Tarbox, the district attorney for Coffee County, said Reid is expected to make an initial court appearance before Josh Wilson later this week on the new felony charges. Turbox said prosecutors are pursuing the death penalty. I knew they were going to give her the death penalty. I knew it. She going to get the death penalty. The reason she is getting that because you put her in the trash to be not once, not twice, but 3 times as we read today. Not once, not twice. You treated this baby like she was trash. I can only imagine what her father feels like, who was begging for them to find her. To get the news on your baby's supposed to be 3rd birthday that her mother did something to this child is ridiculous. She's getting a death penalty, and she got the messing with the courts because she did a lot to try to hide it. And I'm sorry, she deserved that. She deserved to be put to rest. I'm sorry. She deserved that. Because why would you do that? As little as this baby is. So now they're trying to find ain't no telling sick. William E. Cooper of Enterprise also addressed the tragedy, expressing condolences for the child and appreciation for the work of the law enforcement agencies involved in the investigation. Officials say that the case has required approximately 80,000 combined working hours from investigators. According to Moore, detectives have executed 37 search warrants, followed by 97 investigative leads with their agencies, and analyzed more than 5 terabytes of digital and physical evidence. The investigations have involved more than 75 officers from multiple agencies and have led investigators to pursue leads across several states, including Illinois, Texas, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and locations throughout Alabama, meaning there's no telling where her body is. They also went around across the state to see if they could find her, and now that they know, they have to search this landfill. This is hard to read. That I just let me pull up some stuff, y'all. The fact that you would sit here to do this to this precious baby. So remember the girl, if they don't want them, or at the fire station. At the fire station too. Um so remember the girl came out and said that she saw her hitting something she thought was a doll. It is to believe that it could have been her that time that they haven't seen her. She is charged with capital murder and they are seeking a death penalty. And I believe that she will get that. And she bite her lip in her mug shot and she thought it was just a thing. And I'm telling you, her Facebook right now is going crazy. And I'm not going to read everything, but they are sending her a lot of hate messages right now on her Facebook page. She probably can't read them. And she know it. Her life, capital murder. Oh, I have so many questions. Let me go see if we can watch the press release. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and watch it. They reported this about 2 hours ago. Let's see if I can get to the video. All right, I'm gonna play it. Let me share my screen. Hey, everybody coming in. They really don't know what to say. Let me see.
Probable cause to determine if the report was false. On February 17th, Adrian Reid was arrested and charged with false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class C felony, due to the report alleging imminent danger to a person. As investigators continued to follow leads and interview witnesses, information emerged indicating that Gensis had not been seen with Adrian since Christmas Day. Through the careful and methodical work of investigators, we have reached a heartbreaking and horrific conclusion that her mother, her caretaker, the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully murdered Gensis and placed her in a duffel bag and discarded her in a dumpster. Today, March 9th, 2026, Adrian Reid, the mother of Gensis Reid, had been formally charged with capital murder for the killing of a child under the age of 14 and abuse of a corpse. The last confirmed contact with family members occurred on December 25th, when Gensis visited relatives in Dothan for the Christmas holiday. That evening, she was returned to her residence in Enterprise with her mother. During the investigations, detectives obtained camera footage from a neighboring residence showing Adrian walking toward the apartment complex dumpster with a rolling duffel bag at approximately 11:30 p.m. on Christmas night. 2 days later, additional footage captured Adrian returning to the dumpster area carrying toys and other belonging to Gensis. Today is an especially heartbreaking day for our community. March 9th would have been Genesis' third birthday. The loss of a child, the most precious and innocent members of our society, is something that cannot be ignored and will not be forgotten. The investigation is far from over. Our focus now turns to bringing Genesis home to the community that loved her. The search and rescue process will be long and difficult, but our resolve remains unwavering. We will continue working until Genesis is brought home. At this time, I will turn it over to Sheriff Byrd, who will provide an overview of the landfill recovery process.
Thank you, Chief Moore. This is a sad day in Colton County. So we have been involved in this case since February 16th. I've had multiple investigators with this office, with them working and throughout this whole entire operation. Early on, I had a gut feeling this was where it went. So I had started initially calling and searching and filling, and we have contacts through the collection agents that are really good friends of mine, and we started tracking this. So I initially went and got cadaver dogs and went to the landfill early on in this investigation. And at the beginning, they gave me we had about a 4 or 5 acre window. This landfill is over 100 acres of working space. But that does not deter us in any form or fashion. So as the investigation continued, we can proudly say that we narrowed it down between 200 and 100 feet square. Okay. Our landfill is probably one of the most modern landfills in the state of Alabama. They have drones they fly. We have GPS trackers on the bulldozers. We have GPS trackers on the packers. We have GPS trackers on the garbage trucks. We know where they are, when they are, and how they are at all times. So when the FBI and Enterprise Police Department and all the SBI gave us a date, we started dialing in. Investigators SBI worked round the clock, and it was just awesome. The FBI team, the car team, was tremendous in this. This search is going to be methodical, but we're not going to waver at any point looking for her. Now, I will say we have not put the first piece of equipment in the dirt. All we've done for the past, since February the 16th, right after that, we've been plotting and searching. It's a 100-acre landfill. I want to ask the public to keep praying for us. This is going to take a while. I'm going to ask you for your patience. We are determined to find her. We're going to give I'm going to ask the surrounding agencies to send me personnel. We've got a team out of Atlanta coming that has found several 50-something in landfill. They're going to have
no,
don't
care.
Excavate this.
Hold on, let me pause. So Genesis is deceased. They do have a video of Genesis has been missing and deceased since December 25th of 2025. They have the video of her carrying a duffel bag to the dumpster. So now they have to search the landfill because whatever was in that dumpster was processed not once, not twice, but 3 times. So she is looking at capital murder, and they're looking at the death penalty for her mother.
We'll be here this week, and we will get started. We've already been started. So I want to sit here and thank the FBI, Enterprise Police, they have done tremendous work. SBI, the marshals, our sheriffs and deputies, the investigators, Enterprise, the community has reached out and helped us in every form and fashion that we've known how, and that is tremendous. So, y'all keep us in your prayers. Thank you.
James Tarbox, District Attorney. Want to update you on the legal process. Adrian Reid, as Chief said, has been formally charged with 1 count of capital murder for intentionally causing the death of a child under the age of 14, pursuant to Code of Alabama 13A 540 subsection A15. She has also been charged with 1 count of abuse of a corpse pursuant to Code Section 13A 1113. That is a Class C felony under the laws of the state of Alabama. She's now charged with a total of 3 felonies as a part of this investigation that began on February 16th. Capital murder under Alabama law is the intentional murder of someone with a legally recognized additional factor. In this case, subsection A15 is our additional factor, which is a victim under the age of 14. Genesis Reid was 2 years old. Abuse of a corpse is when a person knowingly treats a human corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. Reid will have an initial appearance before District Judge Josh Wilson on the new felony charges later this week. She will be entitled to counsel. Based on procedures established under Code of Alabama 1513.3, she will be held without bond. She may later request a bond hearing, but the court is not under the strict time provisions set out for what we commonly refer to as an Anais law hearing. Under Alabama law, if we are successful in our prosecution for capital murder and Adrian Reid is convicted, there are two possible punishments for a jury to decide: life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. During the court proceedings of this case, our office will have to formally elect whether we are seeking the death penalty. I am committed at that time to fully evaluating the case file and evidence before making a final decision on the death penalty. However, I am formally announcing today that based upon everything I know at this point about this case, this is having been with our officers, our deputies, and our agents for most of this investigation, day in and day out since February 16th, our office will be seeking the death penalty in this case. The evidence shows that Adrian Reid killed her 2-year-old daughter. She literally threw her in the trash. And then she engaged in a 53-day long campaign of deceit, lies, manipulation, and as previously stated, destruction of evidence, before she finally made her false report on February 16th. Her conduct speaks for itself, and I believe this preliminary decision to seek the death penalty conforms to our community's beliefs about this case and our shared values about how we value and seek to protect the most innocent among us, our children. Mayor Cooper.
Mayor William E. Cooper, City of Enterprise. This is a very sad day for all of us. Not just here in Enterprise, but across the country.
Yeah.
Our county, state, and beyond. I want to thank
No, they haven't found her yet.
And the many agencies who have worked so tirelessly on this case at every level. I am grateful for the support we have received from neighbors, friends, and people everywhere who have offered help, encouragement, and prayers. From the very start, our thoughts and our hearts have been with Gensis, and we have lifted up this little girl in our prayers. Now only it is time to see that justice is done for her and to bring some measures of peace and closure to everyone who has cared so deeply. May God continue to watch over our community and give us strength as we move forward. Thank you.
No, they found on the video.
So, important part of this, like the mayor and DA said, is this is a small fraction of the individuals in this community that reached out and helped us in investigation. We have SBI with us, Aaliyah, my agency, Coffee County, the DA's office. So over the course of the past 21 days, this investigation involved approximately 8,000 combined working hours, with personnel often working 16 to 18 hours per day. Investigators have executed 37 search warrants, pursued 97 investigative leads with just our agency alone, and processed more than 5 terabytes of digital and physical evidence, with that number continuing to grow. Leads have taken investigators across multiple states, including Illinois, Texas, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and throughout Alabama. At any given time, more than 75 law enforcement officers from various agencies were directly involved in this case. We extend our sincere gratitude to the many agencies that provided unwavering support throughout this investigation. This is including, but not limited to, Aaliyah statewide agencies, the FBI local field office, the FBI Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit, the Coffee County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Marshal's Office, the Dothan Police Department, the Dale County Sheriff's Office, East Alabama Canine Search and Rescue, Southern Star Search and Rescue, Enterprise's CERT program, Enterprise Fire Department, Enterprise Rescue Squad, and the numerous municipal and state agencies that assisted with investigative follow-ups across the region. We are also deeply grateful for the countless calls and officers' assistance from law enforcement agencies and community organizations across the state who stood ready to help us any way possible. This community has once again demonstrated its strength and compassion. In our darkest moments, the citizens and businesses of this area came together to support investigators and assist any way they could. Our community's honesty, cooperation, and willingness to help play a critical role in the progress made in this case. Without that partnership, the swift developments we have seen would not have been possible. Over the past weeks, our community has prayed together, supported one another, and hoped for a different outcome. Today we grieve together. While nothing can undo the senseless and heartbreaking loss, I take comfort in my faith. I believe that Genesis' earthly body is no longer what defines her, and that she's now in a place far greater than anything this world could offer, surrounded by love and power beyond our understanding. Scripture reminds us of the value of every child, and the words of Jesus gives me comfort. Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. That's all I have. We'll take questions, and I thank you very much for coming.
Just on that note, you all are all sporting some type of pink today. Talk about the motivation behind that on this somber day for the Enterprise community.
Well, again, that started with the community. Let's bring her home and wear pink. And I thought that would be fitting for us to continue to wear pink in support. This has touched every single one of us, the community. I know the individuals behind me are exhausted, but they're pushing forward. And this gives us the motivation of remembering why we're doing
It is. Yeah, they had Cancer 66. They had her camera from the apartment complex, and it was a video of her going to the dumpster, rolling a body. Duffel bag, and they believe that Genesis' body was in it. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get into these court stuff, y'all.
Doesn't the
It
landfill
is.
serve multiple counties, not just Coffee County, that brings garbage in?
It does, but we tracked this particular waste is put in the Coffee County landfill. Like, we know that's where it goes. So I'm not gonna call the commercial distributor that does it, but they have been the best in this, and they have a modern equipment for modern trucks. So we are 95% confident this is where she's at.
And this happened on Christmas night. Is that what I heard? Correct?
That's correct. Late Christmas night. What's that?
Was it in Dothan or was it?
No, sir. We have evidence that both Adrian and Genesis were brought back to Enterprise to the apartment.
Mr. Tarbox, are you confident of a guilty verdict despite you all still working to recover the body?
So one of the things that it took us a long time to get to where we found that video, and you hate to be thankful for anything in a situation like this, but one of the things that I am thankful for is that the questions of could it have been something else. These people behind me and their colleagues have tracked down so many potential leads that we have determined not to be accurate. I feel much more confident in our case. I feel that the evidence that we have, our theory of the case, that is the case. And the fact of the matter is this, we will carry forward with that confidence. I never make any promises on any court case because no one can. At the end of the day, whether we are able to bring her home or not, our position does not change. This is our case, and we're going to prosecute. We owe that to Genesis. We owe it to this community. We're going to take our best swing at ensuring that we get justice in this case.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Hold on. Let's get into Lord have mercy. Oh, let me fix myself. I'm gonna see what the people in the neighborhood had to say. A lot of people was trying to find this baby. A lot of people, and they did their best to do that. Hey, bank statements. Oh my Lord. I'm finna play what you call it has said. They don't. Yes. So let me play. Hold on. Yeah, they helped. Let me see. I'm trying to get in her court documents.
News coming out of Enterprise. Officials adding additional charges for the mother of Gensis Nova Reid to capital murder and corpse abuse.
WDHN's Robert Smith is live in Enterprise for us tonight with more. Robert, what do you have for us?
Yeah, hey, Joe and Jess, after over 21 days of searching for Genesis and what could have been her third birthday today, the community is grieving as law enforcement authorities believe she may not be with us. Now, the mother of Genesis, Adrian Reid, had been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of abuse of a corpse. Now, this comes after Genesis was reported missing by her mother, Adrian Reid, February 16th, claiming she got out of her bed and walked out the front door of their Meadowbrook apartment on Apache Drive. However, neighbors and police say the child wasn't seen in over 3 weeks prior to that date. Some even dated back to Christmas, and that's still the case. Now, over the last 21 days, law enforcement have been searching all over the county, multiple southern states as far as Illinois, and following a number of leads. Now, one of those pieces of evidence being camera footage of Adrian rolling a duffel bag to a dumpster on Christmas night, and then 2 days later returning to that same dumpster carrying Genesis toys and other belongings. Now, but law enforcement have yet to find her body, but they are determined to, as they are searching the Coffee County landfill. In fact, planning to beef up search efforts as Sheriff Byrd is calling in law enforcement personnel from surrounding areas.
Today's an especially heartbreaking day for our community. March 9th would have been Genesis' third birthday. The loss of a child, the most precious and innocent members of our society, is something that cannot be ignored and will not be forgotten. The investigation is far from over. Our focus now turns to bringing Genesis home to the community that loved her.
Now, with the murder and abuse of a corpse charge, Adrian Reid is facing 3 felonies. She has a court appearance later this week. Now, if convicted, the jury will have 2 options: life without parole or the death penalty. The district attorney's office is planning to seek the death penalty as it stands today. Now, again, sad day today. This could have been Genesis' third birthday. City officials want to thank law enforcement for the thousands of hours they put in on this case and what they will still continue to help bring Genesis home. They also want to thank the community for their love, support, and help in Enterprise. Robert Smith, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.
Thank you, Robert. Of course, we'll continue to follow that case. And like the press conference said, still work to be done. But obviously, some new information there. We'll continue to follow that. Night breaking news coming out of Enterprise. Officials adding additional charges for the mother of Genesis Nova Reid to capital murder and corpse abuse.
WDHN's Robert Smith is...
I'm going to play this one.
I got some sad news about that baby. A tragic update in a search for missing toddler, Gensis Nova Reid. Authorities say the investigation has taken a dramatic turn. Genesis' mother, Adrian Reid, has now been charged with capital murder and abuse of a corpse. According to investigators, detectives revealed newly obtained surveillance video from Christmas night showing Adrian walking toward the dumpster while pulling a rolling duffel bag. Listen, and days later, more footage reported shows her returning, throwing that baby toys in a trash can. But the law enforcement say this case is far from over. The district attorney down there in Enterprise, Alabama, say he's seeking capital punishment. He say he's seeking the death penalty. Right now, they searching a landfill. Say he's seeking a landfill, but we told y'all that. Soon as the story broke, because how ain't nobody in the neighborhood seen you with the baby for weeks?
Months.
And that is your baby, and they've been used to seeing you with the baby. That's why you been sitting downtown on $1 million bill and ain't said nothing, because you know what you did to that baby. Yeah, they say they seeking the capital punishment, the death penalty. And you remember the father, y'all remember the father say that he ain't spoke or heard from that? Oh yeah, and by the way, today would have been that baby's 3rd birthday.
Uh-huh.
You remember the father say he ain't heard from that baby since Christmas? Y'all remember that? He said, I ain't talked to my baby since Christmas. That lady threw that baby away. She threw that baby in a trash can. And days later, right, she went and threw that baby clothes away. I mean, that baby toys away. Man, y'all have a good day. I got some sad news about that baby.
It don't make no sense.
Look at this beautiful baby girl. Her name is Gensis Nova Reid, and she has been missing for a while now and under suspicious circumstances. This story is coming out of Enterprise, Alabama. On February 16th, 2026, at approximately 1:30 p.m., Adrian Reid calls 911, claiming she woke up to find her baby gone and the front door left open. An Amber Alert was immediately issued. Investigators and witnesses put together that the child had not been seen in several weeks. The neighbors reported that they haven't seen the child since late December 2025 or early January. A witness placed the mother at a store by herself shortly before the report. They said that they asked her how the daughter is or where the daughter is, and she said, I don't know, and just walked off. Adrian Reid, Genesis' mother, was arrested on February 17th, 2026 on a felony count of false reporting. She must have said or done something for them to become suspicious of her. A $1 million cash-only bond was set due to concerns of her being a flight risk and potential destruction of evidence. Adrian Reid has quite a horrible past. In January 2017, she was arrested for attacking her mother with an edged weapon. She caused a 5-inch cut. She pled guilty to a reduced misdemeanor charge and received a suspended sentence. Public records and reports indicate she was charged with felony child abuse in 2020 involving her son. She has prior arrests for felony heroin possession and other drug-related offenses, and I'm hearing that she also has some sort of mental health issues. She reportedly lost custody of her son in 2022, with the father gaining 100% full custody. So let's talk about Genesis' father. He lives in Pensacola, Florida, and as soon as he heard about the disappearance, he came right over to Alabama and is completely cooperating with investigators. He reportedly last saw Genesis around Christmas 2025. And if you remember, the neighbors said that they last saw Genesis around late December, early January, the same time. He claimed he struggled to maintain contact due to Adrian's refusal to allow it. He said she just wouldn't allow it. She wouldn't answer. She would say she's here, she's there, she don't know, la la la. You know. Vivian Reid, who is Genesis' grandmother, is pleading for her return, stating she was not given willingly, which is just very interesting words, and is urging anyone with information to contact the Enterprise Police Department. Family members and local community have organized vigils and placed billboards across the state to encourage tips. The FBI, U.S. Marshals, and Alabama State Bureau of Investigation are investigating this case. So far, investigators have systematically cleared several areas and expanded their scope based on the mother's timeline and subsequent tips. The initial search happened around the house, which was the Apache Drive and Meadowbrook apartment. So they searched all of that area. They're searching the Coffee County landfill. They're searching wooded areas around, infrastructure around, nearby water sources. And they're even looking across state lines like Texas and Georgia and Florida. A major focus on the investigation is locating a woman named Moriah, a Black female who is known to frequent Level Bar and Grill on Daleville Avenue in Enterprise and areas of Ozark. She's a person of interest, not a suspect, but police believe that she might have key information. Authorities explicitly stated that a neighbor previously harassed on social media is not the Moriah they are seeking. Detectives are currently performing detailed analysis of electronic devices, surveillance footage, trying to piece together a timeline or find
Exactly.
anything they can to save this little girl. There was a rumor going around because a bunch of TikTokers found what looked.
He did. He came up there. He ran up there to see what was going on. The day that he went there, the police was already there arresting him. He had already had his paperwork and stuff to go pick up the child because he had already got granted custody of the child. So I figured that's why she did it. She didn't want to get that baby up. She didn't want to get that baby to the father. So she unalived her. And that's messed up.
To be like a bloodied up mattress across the street in a wooded area from the apartment complex. Forensic scientists have taken a look and they said that it has nothing to do with the case. They're not considering it evidence and they want to let all of us know to leave it alone while they investigate because we're getting in the way. While the mattress was ruled out, federal investigators were seen removing 9 bags of evidence and a rug from Adrian Reid's home. So the search is still on, you guys. I just pray and hope that she is found safe. This is just awful. Just awful. Look at this beautiful baby girl.
Okay.
Her name.
I'm trying to find her stuff and see where she'll have her appearance. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to get people in the neighborhood. Hold on. I don't think anybody that was in the neighborhood had anything to say much. I am trying to find her court documents to see when will she be going to court. But this picture, I'm going to turn the sound down. This picture, this picture is forever edged in my mind because it makes me wonder. Oh, she got capital murder. She got unaliving, capital murder, abuse of a corpse, and I forgot what else that she has. But yeah, she is going to jail. She's done. She is done. Let me see if I gotta come back tomorrow. Oh, I spelled her name wrong. Trying to see. But if I gotta come back, cause they saying that you gotta pay for it, but every time I try to go to the thing to pay the $10 so we can go over it, they don't show it. So they don't have everything needed. I'm trying to see her daddy. I need to know her daddy page. Hold on, y'all. Let me go on Facebook and see if I can find his page. Oh, it's so sad, man. It's so sad. Yeah, it is. Hey, Terry, thank you. They did find her. Well, they didn't find her, but they came to the conclusion when they watched them cameras. I knew when they had to go do the investigation. Oh, I found her daddy page, y'all. Oh my God. Oh, Lord have mercy. Let me make sure this him. Yeah, this him, y'all. He hurt. He hurt. He hurt, man. Y'all pray for him. He wanted custody of that baby. He was married to another woman. She didn't want that baby going over there. He say, my mind gone, my heart mad, my soul so pissed. F this social media ish. I've been watching the world create fake narratives knowing that this ish ain't right. Imagine waking up every day and people saying your child is unalive. To the people that's put my child through this trauma, I'll see you when it's all over. My child is alive, and I'm already knowing no matter how bad you hate a man, children are always innocent. In due time, God will reveal the truth. Happy birthday, Jen. Oh, y'all pray for her daddy. He wanted his baby.
Yeah, no problem taking me. Look up.
He wanted his baby.
I wanted so badly to believe.
Regardless if she wanted her, he wanted her. Yeah, he devastated because he went to court. Like the girl said, he went to court. I'm trying to get the court records. I might have to go through Pensacola. He did go to court to try to get that little girl. She found it. I got to find it myself. If I got to go on another site to find it, let me see if I can find it. Baby, from what I understand, he won custody of that girl. Let me see if I can find her stuff. Because, let me see. I said that when I first heard it. I say two things. He was going to get custody of that baby and she hated that daddy, or she doing this just to piss that daddy off because he with somebody else. I had already said at the beginning that I believe that man got custody of this girl. I knew it. And she decided she was supposed to return, because remember, he kept saying he was supposed to get the little girl on Christmas. He didn't get that, his daughter. I knew it then. That's fucked up.
What you selling that about?
Man, y'all pray for this.
Oh, Jen, where you going? Where you going? You going? What time?
This is so sad, y'all.
Say hey.
Oh man. Missing someone that isn't that ain't coming back is a different kind of hurt. For all that is secret eventually be brought to the open. Yeah, he was supposed to get her. He wanted his daughter. She didn't want him to have her for whatever reason. I think she was abusing that little girl already because she was upset with him. That's so sad. And for you, I will. And for you, I'll risk it. He said, baby, when you with your daddy, you ain't got to worry about when you with your daddy. You ain't never got to cry. Baby, when you with your daddy, you ain't never going to hurt. She must have did something to this child. This is every time I see you dirty, I'm quick to clean you. New shoes, new clothes, new toys. Baby, anything you want, baby girl, it's your world. No, daddy crazy about his baby. Man, it started off rocky, but this last time the ish was so perfect. You had told me, Daddy, I want to stay at the park and play. And I said, no, baby, it's getting too hot. I wish I would have let you stay longer. So she was neglecting the child. Now, from what I was hearing, she neglected her older son as well, to where her older son had to go live with somebody. Because remember, her older son was telling the neighbors she ain't never got no food at her house. He posted about his daughter on Christmas Day. Yeah, she been mistreating this baby. That was the last post he had on Christmas Day. Let me see if I can pull up this report. Is it $1? Let me see if I can pull up something with her first before we do that. I'm going to have to go through. Excuse me, y'all. That is sad. He went through. I knew it was something because she didn't want a child. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna have to dig, y'all. I'm gonna come back with that part tomorrow. But yeah, she did something to that baby, man. That's fucked up. I already knew she did something to her. Cause when I heard about it, I said, oh, she did something to that baby. She was mad because he was with somebody else when he drove down to Alabama. He drove to Alabama. A lot of people was like, well, why he ain't get her? I didn't know that he found. Nobody knew he had already got the court. Like the girl saying, he already had got when he was supposed to get his daughter. I want to know if this lawyer gonna get her off. Let's look up. Okay, so we're gonna read a little bit about her lawyer, and then we're gonna look up some of the stuff that they could have possibly found to give her capital murder. I mean, we know, but it say someone. Okay, so this is from Tammy Woodruff. She say, let me explain the game that is being played here with the missing Gensis Reid case. If you don't know the justices, okay, we ain't reading that. But anyway, her bail was set at $1 million bond because of a few things. She talking about that in rituals and stuff. That's not. I want something tangible. I understand where she coming from, but I'm not gonna say that. You know what? Let me go to TikTok. he might as well go ahead and get ready to lose his case. Her lawyer, he ain't gonna get her off. That's done with. He's not gonna get her off. And that's something because he wanted to get her off. That's not gonna happen. And the DA wants her to have the DA wants her to have capital, well, to be getting the unaliving penalty. No, hold on. So let's get into why. I was too, but I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I kind of figured. Let me tell you why I figured that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I feel I wanted her to be found safe, but I knew because what this reminded me is Casey Anthony, which Casey Anthony Angle was supposed to be charged with capital murder because she left her daughter, who was the same age as Gensis, in the trunk of a car for 2 to 3 days at a parking lot. She didn't call 911. She lied and said her neighbor had her. Remember, it all sounded the same. She lied. The boyfriend said the last time he saw her, she had her, and he didn't see her no more. She really was supposed to get capital murder. But, and I tell people all the time, and a lot of people, I just had this conversation on Instagram, because she is acceptable, she didn't get it. And it was enough evidence. So for her, when I first heard her say, the mother sit here and say, oh, she's with a friend. Ain't no friend. When I showed y'all who the friend was, the friend didn't have her. She got the friend pulled over. The friend was doing all that talking at the mouth. The friend ain't have her. Okay. She say she ain't had that little girl to her house play date with her child since December, early December or November. Okay. So when they went to go look at this tavern in this place to find her, she was nowhere to be located. And I said, okay. When I heard it, it was similar to Casey Anthony, because that's the same thing Casey Anthony said. Casey Anthony said the sitter, I forgot the name she done said. It was a Mexican lady that watched her baby that had her child. That wasn't true. A lot of stuff she was saying and doing was very clairvoyant as Casey Anthony. And another thing I want to know, I'm going to read this because she's charged with capital murder. But I do want to know if she will try to go for mental issues, because now people say, oh, she got mental issues. I want to be honest with y'all. Adrian is going to try to play like she has a mental problem to avoid going to prison and going to the mental hospital. I don't think that's going to fly with her because of the evidence that they could have to show that she has done what she did. I really believe Genesis' mother is going to try to go for the mental route. I really do. I want to go. She crashed out. It was a lot. I'm telling y'all what she gonna do. Crashed out. It was a lot. She gonna sit here in court, try to play crazy. And then what the lawyer gonna do, I'm telling y'all, this case gonna be drawn out. It's gonna be everywhere. Yeah, she gonna play. She sure is gonna. Yeah, the judge is gonna say, okay, let's get a therapist involved or a doctor. Is she gonna play crazy? How much y'all want to bet that woman finna play crazy? She finna take everybody saying that she got a mental problem, and I guarantee you, they done told that up in jail already. Now that it's out that she lied, so now she gonna be protected. Now she gonna sit here. Now I'm telling y'all to play. Now that it came out that she got capital, No, she gonna scream. They gonna have to support her down. They gonna have to take her to the medical part because she gonna play like she got a mental problem. She gonna not want to eat. They gonna have to watch her, and then it's gonna go to her lawyer so the district attorney can say, "Hey, my client got a mental problem." Like, watch, I'm telling y'all. I promise y'all, she finna try the mental thing. How much y'all want to bet? How much do y'all want to bet this woman finna play for the mental case? When they asked her, I knew it. And now that I'm thinking about it, when someone said they asked her, they used to walk down the street. They saw her at the store. They say they always see Genesis with her. They didn't see Genesis. When somebody asked her with a baby, I don't know. She was trying to play crazy then. So now, when the district artist said, the DA said, we got evidence that that baby wasn't, I already knew then. I was like, they didn't want to say it. I already knew that's what it was going to come down to. They are going to fry this girl like a sausage. When it comes to children, they're not finna play with you, especially unaliving them. You can sit on death row for up to like 10 years. It depends on the governor. And the way that Alabama operate, they are ready to send her to Jesus. They're ready. They're ready for it. Let me tell you something. Alabama is a Republican state. Let me tell you how she done set herself up to be the glory. Republicans don't like spending unnecessary money. We're going to see how much this case is going to cost. And I'm telling you, it's not just thousands. You have to go to different states of landfill. You have to pay for that. Pay for the people to help look for this child body. And you also, do you know how much that case is going to cost? Alabama already right now trying to figure stuff out right now because the state we in. You really think these Republicans finna play with this girl? The city workers, people looking for her. This case is not finna be cheap, baby. Baby, this case about to be worth as a brand new Louis Vuitton or a Birkin bag. I promise you. Maybe $1 million, close to $1 million. It's finna be that much. Because they're going to go try to find this baby. So yeah, they already got to pay for the trial. Rich, old, no offense to the white people. Rich, old white folks, especially old white men, when it comes to stuff like this, and they trying to keep money in their pocket for them to do how they want to do, they do not like spending their coin. Republican states, Alabama is a Republican state. They do not like spending the coin, baby. They are pissed. They are pissed. They got to pay people in the landfill. They got to go travel to these. That's costing money. That's gas. Make sure they fed. They have some place to stay while they go look. This is a budget. And Adrian is standing here in her mugshot, lips closed like I'm playing crazy. Girl, they are finna nail her to the cross like the Romans nailed Jesus. But the only thing is, Jesus rose. She didn't. And that's going to be the difference. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm being strictly honest. She has messed up because what they don't play about is now that they have to come out of their pocket of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to find her child that she decided because she didn't want to give her child up to the father to just treat her like trash. So they're going to treat her like a dog and put her down. And that's just being honest. While she's sitting on Facebook trying to be cute, trying to sell her body like she is Miss Vogue or one of them magazines, Vibe magazine, Girl of the Day, or Jet magazine, Beautiful of the Day or the month, and her child been missing, and now she want to play crazy. But as you go into her Facebook, the heifer ain't crazy. Then for the son to say, my mama ain't feed me. Hello? Yeah, California does 25 years. They're generous. California is very, very generous. When it comes to DNA, certain cases, oh, they're very generous. If you did something wrong to somebody, you going to jail that day. If you do a lawsuit, oh yeah, they're generous. California's generous. That's why it's such a great state for some people. The only thing they're not generous with is marriages. And I would never get married in California. They generous to where the women, let's give an example. Mary J. Blige and Kelly Clarkson had to pay alimony. Ariana Grande, alimony. Mm-hmm. That's why when I heard, and this is an example because we just talking, but when I heard Jay-Z, so alleged son talking about I couldn't get a DNA. No, he wanted money. California do free DNA tests by the court of law. All he had to say is tell her when he signed it that he want a free DNA test, he would have got it. They're generous. Alabama, not finna play with her. You want me to tell you what they really saying? No, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna be cute over here for right now. Cause I can tell you what their real thoughts about her. While they popping a whatever, cause she done gave them a problem. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. Yeah, Alabama, they don't give a darn. Genesis' mother will, Genesis, the lady that gave birth to her, I can't even call her a mother, has always had behavioral issues where she almost unalived her mama. And the reason why she got cool and okay with that is because she played mental. Genesis is the lady that gave birth is now a repeat offender when it comes to doing something malicious. And she was young, but that makes her case worse because, okay, you got behavior issues, or is you just doing this? So another thing they're finna spend money on is to check her mental. And baby, if she playing mental and they find out she faking, oh, yo, like, girl, she gonna be like let me stop. Shout out to Michael, ain't no shade. She might get 1,000 years. Let's read this. So, oh no, wrong one. Oh no, it was the right one. Hold on, let me share it. This is not Genesis' mama. Well, the lady that gave birth first time. So, capital murder in Alabama is the most serious criminal offense, including intentional, which they already said, hey, they believe that she did this intentionally. Combined with specific aggravating factors. So they're not looking at the robbery or kidnapping or any essay or law enforcement. But what they're also looking at is key factors when it comes to a child, as he said, a child that is under 14. Genesis was 2. So I guess by their state of law, when a child is 14 and up, it is different, right? So because she was under the age of 14, she gets the capital murder charge. Now, Genesis, let's say, was 14 and up, she wouldn't get the capital murder charge. She would get first degree, right? So that's the difference because of the age factor. But I believe you can become they're considered adult and everything by 14 to 15. Excuse me. They're one of the states that a child, if the parents signed over, a child can't get married. You just can't do it in Tennessee. We talked about that. But that's one of the things that Alabama, sees. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Prosecutors already come through her background, meaning the mother will be charged and they're going to talk about what she did to her mother and her intentions. Another thing, conviction requirements, it must be proven the defendant is intentionally unalive the victim. So now the prosecutors got to claim, hey, she did this to a 2-year-old. I want to see how much this going to cost. So when they look at a compliance liability, now that she's charged with capital murder, if they did not personally underlie the victim, provided they were, they probably would, but she didn't have nobody to do it with her. Now, let's get into how much this is going to cost. What? But yeah, Republican men, rich folks in Alabama, Republican state right now, they're not playing with her. Okay. Child. Whoa. Oh, yeah. They finna can her, baby. They finna can her. They finna can her like a can of paint. Let me look at the cost. A capital murder case in Alabama, which carries penalties of life without parole or the unaliving penalty, is exceptional costly with the state level. Death penalty trials often exceed to $400,000 to $700,000 in total expenses, significantly more than non-capital life without parole cases. For a private defense, in attorneys are $1,000. The total cost is $420,000, and the county cost is adding another $360,000. So the public defender is going to get paid. This is going to be a high-profile case. To put this girl away, it's going to be in 100Ks. She's cooked. That girl can forget her life at this point. Wow. It's whew. Let me go right here. Baby, she done with. So imagine the DNA test. They already spending money to find this baby. Alabama is coming out of $1 million, $250,000 or more, or $1 million or more for this case. So you can imagine what they're paying. Okay. So it's now considered a Republican stronghold at the federal and state level. Although Democrats still retain a slim majority. Now, if it was, if Alabama had majority of that, this would be a whole different story. The unaliving penalty wouldn't be on the table. But because the history of Alabama and number one of it being a red state, it's on the table. Genesis mama can't forget. They already trying to send folks up the creek for life and the death penalty if they sit here and send their children to glory before a heartbeat. she's cooked. She's done. But yeah, I really believe she's going to play. I want to play a little bit of Casey Anthony because that's what it's given to me. And that's what I'm seeing. And I don't think she's going to get off like Casey Anthony, but the way that she tried to make it look like this girl was taken by a babysitter and it's very Casey Anthony-ish. And a lot of people said that. I'm going to play what One Crime at a Time had to say. And then I'm going to play a little bit of Casey Anthony, and then we're going to get out of here because they got some similarities. It's just two different things of the show. Her mug shot pissed me off because she
Makes me so sick because this is not the update that I was hoping to make one day regarding Gensis Reid. Obviously, things weren't looking good, but I was hoping that somewhere she was being kept by someone safe. But unfortunately today, police made an announcement after a press conference that her mother, Adrienne Reid, has been arrested for her murder. Gensis, if you're not already familiar, had been reported missing on February 16th by her mom, Adrienne, who said that she woke up at like 3 a.m. in the morning and that her daughter was missing from her bed and the front door was wide open. Now, initially, police looked into that claim and quickly found holes and inconsistencies in her mother's story. It was the following day that Adrienne was arrested for false reporting, and she was being held in jail on $1 million bond. And the investigation continued. That's when police say that they found Gensis had not been seen since Christmas Day. Adrienne had gone to see family that day, but since then, there had been no reports of anyone who had seen Gensis alive. And this is just so awful, but investigators say that camera footage that was retrieved from a neighboring home shows that Adrienne, around 11:30 p.m., was walking with a duffel bag and dumped something into an apartment complex dumpster. They have also shared that 2 days after that, Adrienne was seen on surveillance video walking toward the dumpster again, carrying items like toys and stuffed animals and other items that appeared to belong to Gensis and discarding of them as well. And it was today, which should have been Genesis' third birthday, that police held this press conference in which they shared that through their investigation, they do believe they've reached the heartbreaking conclusion that Gensis is no longer with us. They say that her mother, who was her caretaker and the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully took the life of Gensis, placed her in a duffel bag, and discarded her in a dumpster. Investigators also shared that they're using truck schedules as well as GPS locators to identify areas of the landfill in which they plan to search, but they say that this is not going to be an easy or a quick search. It seems over the last year, we've seen several cases where mothers have unalived their children only to report them missing and then refuse to cooperate with the police investigation. So this is another one of those cases, and hopefully Gensis is going to get the justice she deserves. And I'm praying and hoping that they find her so she can be given a proper burial. This just makes me so sick because this is not the update that I was hoping to make one day regarding Gensis Reid. Obviously, things weren't looking good, but I was hoping that somewhere she was being kept by someone safe. But unfortunately today, police made an announcement after a press conference that her mother, Adrienne Reid, has been arrested for her murder. Gensis, if you're not already familiar, had been reported missing on February 16th by her mom, Adrienne, who said that she woke up at like 3 a.m. in the morning and that her daughter was missing from her bed and the front door was wide open. Now, initially, police looked into that claim and quickly found holes and inconsistencies in her mother's story. It was the following day that Adrienne was arrested for false reporting, and she was being held in jail
I'm so
on
sorry.
$1 million
My bad, y'all.
bond.
My bad.
And the investigation.
Okay, so that's all I'm gonna share right now. We will be back tomorrow. I'm finna work. I'm finna talk more about this. This is so sad. I want to send my prayers to Genesis' father. Because nobody wants to lose a child. Nobody does. So, and that is one of the worst things ever. I was going to do Amy tomorrow. We're going to do it tonight. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. Meet me back at 9:45. Meet me back here. I owe y'all 3 lives. Meet me back here at 9:45, and we're going to wrap it up with Amy for tonight. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to try to work on getting her court documents so we can go through them together, because I really want to see what all they have. So I'm going to have to do some more research. I will be back at 9:45. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.